This is a flask of Deflasking. It's a leafless type of orchid. And ostensibly today, Steve is coming by to borrow some Spanish moss, but it has now morphed into us deflasking these. And so I'm going to share what we do.
Thinking of, I don't know how many plants are actually in here. So that's the first thing we're going to find out. They require high humidity and warmth. So I have also, the little bit I've read, have talked about a specific wood for mounting, which I don't have. So I'm going to try mounting them a couple different ways. I've got a couple pieces of cork, and I have some terrariums that I'm going to use to make sure I've got higher humidity. And then I've also heard that they can be mounted on ceramic. So we're going to try that.
Ooh, brave.
Yeah, a little bit. And then I'm going to share some with Kay. And if there's any extra, I want to try one other experiment at home, just laying it on a very thin layer of leca and have the water wick through the leca to help maintain the humidity, and just see if that...
So like semi-hydro, but just like watering through the leca?
Yeah,
okay.
Just a real, if there's enough to try that experiment. So that's what we're going to try today. And I even brought some, well, it's not milk. It's RO water from my house, because I've heard that these want really pure water. So I don't want to start them off wrong. We're going to start them off deflasking in the RO water I brought. Put up my milk jug. So we're going to see how easy this comes out. It looks like it's going to come out. Oh, and some of them are actually going to come off, which is even better. That's actually two.
Pretty good.
Oh, that's actually three.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot in there. They're going to be really small compared to what you think they're going to be like.
Well, I'm hoping a few big ones, and those would be the ones that I mount, and maybe the small ones are the ones that I try to experiment with the semi-hydro, and big ones for you to share too, Ellie. They might just be kind of resting.
Oh yeah, they're just on top. They didn't burrow in it. Well, I don't think Deflasking tends to
it's just kind
burrow in.
Oh, and this, okay, so this might be easier than we thought.
Just here, wait a second, let me get you so yes, I got a bucket for him to throw his agar into.
Well, this is nice because it's
this is just sitting on top.
Just pretty much sitting on top, so we'll have to... This one's probably a not viable one, but what the heck.
It is very small.
Yeah, and you can see.
Oh yeah, some of those are still protocorms.
Yeah, I think that's what mostly that is. So I didn't even need to do that. So one of the other things that I heard was you're supposed to, when you mount it towards the growth is supposed to be, the newest growth is supposed to be down.
Oh, not so roots up?
Roots up. Well, I mean, they're all roots, but yeah, I mean, the newest roots should be towards the mount. So like these ones here would be towards the mount. And I actually was just reading something that if it's done the other way, it's not like it will die, but it will actually grow slower, which is weird. I don't...
These guys want to be hot, and they want to be bright, and they want to be moist.
I'm not sure about the light temperature, the light.
No,
Because
they want to
they wanna be
bright.
bright?
So everyone who grows them that I know who gets them to flower says they put them at the very top of their greenhouse.
Yeah, so what I'm going to be doing is taking these terrariums, and I have a warm grow space. It's got a heater in it. With the lights and everything, it gets into the some of these are just too small to even bother with.
Well, you could put them like
yeah,
back in this little thing.
right,
I don't know. Have no idea if they'll take.
Those are going to be the ones that try the experiment. They're can't get that one. They're going to go in my warm grow house, which has bright lights. Because everything I have has bright lights, and I need people to come to the orchid shows to buy all of the stuff that I'm selling, so that I can have room in that space.
What do you have for sale?
I have just a lot of divisions of stuff. I'm pricing it to sell most of my stuff. Almost everything is under $5 this time. I'm just pricing it to
leave your
sell.
house.
Yes. I've got 4 or 5 of the flats of stuff that I'm.
Okay, you have a lot of stuff. I have like 1 flat of stuff.
But this is the cheap. I mean, I've never priced any of my stuff that cheaply. This time, I'm just trying to make space. So
I should be trying to make space, but sadly, most of my seedlings are all Richard Mueller crosses that I want to get bigger and maybe get some first blooms out before I start.
I still have a few
injecting
small, they're very small, of Sam's seedlings that I took from Flask. But most of them are, as I was repotting this summer, I was dividing. So it's a lot of divisions. And I won't sell any of the divisions unless I see new growth, so that I know that it's going to actually take the repotting, and that I've got new roots growing or new growth. So, well, that's
a lot.
That's a lot, and I don't even know if that's something that I can separate or not.
Well, I don't think it'll hurt it to have more than one.
Yeah, and then. Okay, so like that's going to be part of the LECA experiment. Worst that happens is they die.
Well,
So
these
I think
I mean, this flask looks like it was like 19. It was like this year, so it hasn't been in flask all that long. I just recently did some flasks from Louisiana Orchid Connection, and they were like flask last year.
Yeah, so I think this is one I'm definitely going to mount.
So Steve and I did a group bark order like a couple months ago, like June, and we got 120 pounds cork. And so I went inside and I got a piece, broke it in half, and I am going to mount my little piece of Ghost Orchid on this piece of cork with my live Spanish moss underneath it, and my live sphagnum moss. I cannot speak today on this video. And then we'll probably put Spanish moss on top of it. So there's been a huge debate on roots pointing down, roots pointing up. We're trying roots pointing down, hopefully. Newest roots pointing down. And that's supposed to let them grab in. My live Spanish moss, New Zealand Spanish moss, is going to be my sphagnum moss. Sphagnum moss is going to be my canary in the coal mine. So this needs really bright light and really high humidity to grow. And I grow it with regular Chicago tap water. Even though also sphagnum moss is supposed to need really, really pure water. So I'm hoping that if my sphagnum survives this, then these Dendrophylax, of which this cross is supposed to be, I think Little Ghost is what the registered name is.
I think so.
Lindenii.
I saw it on diamond orchids listed as little ghost.
Ah, well, Peter would know.
And unfortunately, he did not have it on his site anymore. Otherwise, I probably would have bought from him.
Here's my little mount with Spanish moss only on one side. Want to see what happens. And then I am going to put it in this grow tray with the humidity dome. And hopefully it will be happy and I can stick it under some grow lights. And I am not going to water it with pure water. I am going to try and see what happens if I just use tap.
Heresy.
Heresy! Heresy! There we go. It has water.
Let it be known, I offered my RO water.
Steve did offer his RO water to me, but I said no because I don't have an RO water maker.
Got rain.
This close to the city. Do you think that rainwater's pure? I don't.
Oh, yeah.
Pollution. Tons of pollution. So Steve is
Pretend.
gonna mount some on this pot.
I'll try. I'm just using a dab of silicone, which I wonder if that might kill the root that it's touching. So I'm just really trying to do a very small amount. And we're gonna see what happens with these. These were not the best looking pieces anyway. But we'll see what happens. Oh, that one doesn't have anything on it. So it's gonna go like that. I'm gonna Velcro it on the back just to make sure it doesn't fall over. This one is gonna get filled up with water and leca and see how it wicks. And then this, well, there is a top to this, so to help maintain the humidity. And I'm just gonna set that one in there. So I need people to buy all my stuff because these two are going to take up a lot of room in that small grow space.